Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Say Flails. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Today, we have a very special game that I actually know very little about. I'm going to be playing a game called MYCORRHIZA, I believe it's pronounced. I hope I'm pronouncing MYCORRHIZA right. That would be awful if I'm not. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All the fingers are crossed that I'm pronouncing it correctly. From what I know, this is a horror visual novel. Hmm. Visual novels, I adore. Horror, I adore. So fingers crossed, I'm going to enjoy this. If you like the game, please head over to Steam. I believe it's on, it could be on other platforms as well, but I do know it's on Steam. That's where I got it from. Head over to Steam, check it out. And yes, is this going to be spooky? Spooky, scary? One of the annoying things about being a VTuber is that I can't turn off all the lights and get super spooky, scared. I have to be in a well lit room. Unless you would like me to just be like this and asleep. Nah, it's okay. All right. So I'm blocking a little bit of the text. I'm really sorry about that. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Okay. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Is there any sound? I don't think there is. And this is the first thing, when I opened the game, I got some settings, and that was it. Just some text settings, volume settings, then it went straight to this. So I you're missing nothing. You've missed nothing. We're doing this together. All right, wish me luck. Before you get into the game, there are a few things that you might want to know. Or not, it's your choice. Oh, yikes. Do you want the tutorial? Just in case, let's read the tutorial. There is sound, but it's really quiet. I have no idea if it's even being picked up, it's so quiet. Let's turn up the game a little bit. Fingers crossed that's working. Okay, read your tutorial. If you've already played visual novels, then you might be familiar with these shortcuts. Okay. But just in case you aren't, oh, well, I actually play a lot of visual novels, but I didn't know these were familiar controls for such things, so this is good to know. I don't want to skip any text, so that's fine. Tab, you can control skip. Okay, yeah, I don't need to skip any text because this is our first time playing. Autoplay, yes, which I also don't use. Okay. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Spooky. No. Okay. Oh, we could use I could use a controller. Could just get super lazy and controller this. I'm fine with a mouse. It's not like I have to do a lot of heavy duty keyboard work. Escape, start, or the right mouse button opens the game menu. Okay. I You can press the quick menu button in the top left, which I don't see, but okay. All right, this is fine. We didn't need this. Self voicing, self voicing. This has voice acting, or is it like a computer voice? Okay, one thing that should be noted is that you can play through the upcoming doors in any order. You don't need to play them left to right. Oh, okay. Some audio events in the game also make use of stereo effects. Thus, it's better to enjoy the game with headphones. I'm wearing headphones. The rest should be pretty self explanatory. Don't disappoint her. Who's her? Okay, I think the game is pretty quiet. Oh, there we go. That's better. Now we have sound. I wonder how spooky and loud we want the sound to be. What's this dyslexic font? Oh, okay. I'm not sure if that's okay for the sound. Please somebody let me know if the game's a little bit too quiet, and I will fix it. Alright, I guess that's it. I guess we just click on the door. Actually, I am going to check my audio. Just make sure it sounds okay. Yep, I think we're okay. Alright, here we go. It said there was something about multiple doors, but one door. Welcome to a world of distorted minds. Oh, there's the page. Okay. That opens up the menu. Yes? Yes. Should we save? Empty slot. Start. I don't know why I have a habit of saving at the start of games. Okay. Let's have a sip of coffee. And let's do this. Close menu. Am I a boy or a girl? Doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. My eyes were burning. It felt like hot coals were lying on my eyelids. I slowly opened them and attempted to heave myself up from the cold asphalt. But I failed. My whole body was heavy, and my head felt like it was being squashed by a hydraulic press. After a few attempts, I finally succeeded and tried to make out where I was. The fog in my mind lifted slowly, and I realized that I was in a dark alleyway. My vision was still blurry, and I had trouble keeping my eyes open. but I could tell that I had never seen this place before. Slowly, my heart began to race. Was I abducted? Mugged? What had happened to me? I hastily checked my body, fortunately finding no wounds. Why was I feeling this weak then? Maybe I was drugged. As I tried to recall what might have happened to me, my eyes finally focused. I could see a house in front of me. It was the only house on the street with its lights on. The dirty yellow glow shone through almost every single visible window. I felt some relief knowing that the tenants were awake. Perhaps they could tell me where I was. I approached the front door. It took me some searching to find the doorbell through the overgrown ivy. A deep gong rang out from within the house when I pressed it. The sound, amplified by the cold wind cutting through my shirt, made me tense up. What an odd choice for a doorbell sound, I thought, while rubbing my upper arms to warm myself. I waited. I waited. No one answered. My mind twisted in confusion. Why was no one coming? I rang the doorbell again. Then I tried knocking. No response. No one was coming. I didn't understand. Did they forget to turn the lights off and go on vacation? As a last resort, I tried turning the doorknob and it actually opened. Yeah, we want to go into a random house, with apparently no one there. Yeah, this seems like a good idea. Good idea. This worried me. Did something happen to the family living here? Perhaps I should find a phone and call the police. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the street. My heart started to pound as my body tensed up. I wanted to dash into the house, but my feet refused to move. What was that sound? Was someone out here? Pictures of otherworldly monsters and armed kidnappers popped into my mind as my eyes scanned the darkness. The world was silent once more. I was still on edge, but my body slowly started to relax as I regained my composure. I decided I didn't want to find out what that was. Cautiously, I stepped through the threshold and firmly closed the door behind me. Oh yeah, this is a better idea. Going into the dark, creepy house is a better idea than staying outside. I entered a dimly lit hallway. The contours of minimalist furniture were illuminated by the streetlights outside. I felt an immediate lurch of guilt as I was trespassing into a stranger's home. Yeah, exactly. Breaking and entering. This is breaking and entering. Hmm. Oh, okay. Scott. I think Scott is me. So I'm a boy. Hello? Is anyone here? No answer. The house was eerily quiet. I cautiously ventured further down the front hall and stopped in front of one of the doors. A dim yellow light seeped silently through the bottom crack. I turned the knob. Locked. Then the next one. Also locked. They all seemed to be. Of course, all the doors are locked. It'd be far too easy if they were open. I frowned. Why were the lights behind these locked doors lit? It gave me an uneasy feeling. The door at the very end of the hall was the only one I hadn't tried yet. I grasped its handle and turned it slowly. It swung open to complete darkness. Once again, my body tensed up while my mind started to conjure horrific images. A beast with dislocated limbs and crooked teeth creeping towards me from the darkness. A floor littered with corpses and walls stained with blood. A giant spider, no, not a spider, sitting in a corner, waiting for its chance to strike. My hands shook as I reached to flick on the light. Nice addition there with the shaking text. I like it. And it's just a bedroom. Yep. Just a bedroom. It was an utterly ordinary bedroom. My heartbeat slowly calmed down as I realized that I seemed to be safe. I felt almost silly getting scared of nothing. A quick search yielded nothing but barren, dusty shelves. The bed was the only meaningful object present. Slowly but surely, a wave of fatigue washed over me. Let's go to sleep in someone's bedroom. Let's go to sleep in a random person's bedroom. Good idea. People in horror games have the best ideas. With my adrenaline rush fading away, I found that I was more exhausted than I had realized. Like a worm wiggling its way into an apple, a single thought slowly invaded my mind. I had to sleep. Trying to fight it made it worse, as if some outside power was affecting me. Sleeping in a stranger's bed, in a stranger's home, was the last thing I wanted to do right now. But it was soon the only thing I could think about as my consciousness faded. I had to sleep. The world turned dark, and the soft covers of the bed pulled me deeper and deeper into the black abyss. MYCORRHIZA. Ooh. Oh, that's a head. That would be a severed head, yes. Oh. MYCORRHIZA. Creepy stuff everywhere. Ooh. The severed head with the just the blackness coming out of the eyes and the mouth, that was really creepy. So we can choose a door, and we can choose any door. This music is pretty. It's very pretty. I hope I have it turned up loud enough so you can hear it. So we don't have to go from left to right. We can take any door we want. But the question is, which door should we pick? Maybe the middle door? It's like, do you pick left? Do you pick right? Or do you go, just go with the middle. Yeah, let's go with the middle. Ooh, creepy noise. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, middle. Middle door it is. Oh! Why did I pick the middle door? What's wrong with me? A guide to funny faces? Oh, this was a bad idea. Should have picked a different door. Well, I would have ended up at the middle door eventually. I shot awake, panting heavily, my clothes sticking to my skin due to all the sweat. My eyes darted around the room, but everything was quiet. I seemed to be safe. A nightmare. Seems like I just had a nightmare. I couldn't remember it anymore, but it must have been horrifying. Chills were still running down my spine. After calming down, I decided to take another look around the house. The fact that no one was here, even though the lights were on, was still nagging in the back of my mind. A look out of the window confirmed that it was still night. I had either slept for a whole day or for only a few hours. Considering how tired I felt, it must have been the latter. I left the bedroom to retry the doors just in case. When I was a kid, um, I was so sure that retry was actually retrieve. I don't know why. I thought it was red retrieve. So in video games, I always thought it was retrieve. Never occurred to me that it was retry. I thought it was this special video game word. Yep. Kids are dumb. They were still locked. I really wanted to go home and take a shower. I smelled my clothes, and they indeed had started to smell slightly sour. Nice. This place seemed to have nothing left to offer. I'd be better off out in the streets, even if it was still dark. All I needed to do was find a police station. They'd definitely be able to help me. As I wandered around, I grew more and more aware of how big this town was. The buildings were tall, and nature was rather scarce. The streets, however, were completely empty. Suddenly, my ears began to pick up the subtle sounds of laughter. The sounds turned to unease in my empty stomach. It was awfully late for such a public crowd. There wasn't cheering or rounds of applause. Just laughter. Loud and obnoxious laughter that didn't seem to subside or grow. It became louder as I approached the town center. Yeah, this is not creepy at all. Soon it turned into a wave of commotion by what sounded to be a massive crowd. They just laughed and kept laughing. It sounded dreadful. I was tempted to change course and avoid them. Yet this direction was my best bet for finding an inn or a police station. These priorities outweighed my sense of danger. I pressed on. The laughter was bellowing with hundreds of voices, until finally I could glimpse the source of the commotion. Oh, okay. The crowd gathered around a performer who was doing something to make them laugh. I bet that something is lovely and wholesome. Just a wholesome performance in the middle of the night. I strained to see the action, peeking through the small gaps between the people while keeping a safe distance. The group was just too dense. I couldn't see any details. Curiosity overwhelmed me, and I started pushing through the people. They seemed to melt away without paying me much attention. As I approached, I passed a table with books. I couldn't make out their title, but I could see something that resembled a mask on the cover. Paying it no mind, I pressed onward. I couldn't understand what was happening. The performer wasn't making any sounds. I couldn't make out any movement from beyond the crowd either. What was so entertaining? Finally, I reached the front. But what I saw was the opposite of funny. It was horrifying. Do we want to click next? Do I really want to see what was the opposite of funny? Ooh, nice. I like this face on the left. It's like, yeah. I'm not a fan of all the whatever is happening around the neck. What was wrong with his head? He turned his hips so that everyone in the crowd could have a clear view, as if he didn't want anyone to miss it. Why are people laughing at this? A bystander heard me. I don't know. His face just seemed so funny. I mean, look at it. I stared at him in disbelief. He and the others really did seem to find this funny. Were they seeing something I wasn't? No matter how I looked at it, it didn't seem like anything other than disturbing. I averted my gaze and walked away. I wanted nothing to do with this madness. I continued to comb through the town center while trying to keep my distance from the crowd. Soon, I noticed that the sun had already started to rise, and I still hadn't found anything that even vaguely resembled a police station. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? I had walked by a girl that was standing nearby. She was watching the crowd from a distance. Yeah, it is. I was glad to hear that someone else was thinking the same. An awkward pause followed. I had been under the impression that she wanted to start up a conversation, but I guess that wasn't the case. My stomach broke the silence. Are you hungry? Blood shot to my face. It was true that I was feeling starved. Swallowing my pride, I nodded. I have a sandwich with me. You can have it. Are you sure? No worries. I'm not hungry anyways. I had to hold myself back as to not lunge onto it. But I kept my cool and ate it cautiously as to not embarrass myself. Some of my strength returned to me. In the meanwhile, I decided to ask her about this town. Sorry, I don't really know my way around here that well. Oh, so you're not from here? No, not really. Maybe I could help you look. I'm feeling a bit uneasy about being alone here anyways. I glanced back in the direction of the laughing crowd. Sure, I would really appreciate that. I'm Scott, by the way. I'm May. Nice to meet you. We set off to look for help. The idea to call someone I knew from May's phone came up, but she didn't have it on her, unfortunately. We approached several people to ask them for directions, but all of them seemed to ignore us. I tried to make some small talk with May every now and then, but her replies were always short and didn't leave much room for follow-ups. But she perked up when I asked her about her family. I have a sister. At first I thought that would be all I'd get out of her, but she continued after a short pause. She's been home more recently. Usually she'd leave early and return late or not return at all for several days. Her job is really important, so it makes sense. But I was really happy when she told me that she wouldn't go to work for a while. I assumed she was finally able to request some time off. But she continued to work even at home. May hung her head. It seemed like I had touched on a sensitive topic. I thought of ways to console her or cheer her up, but couldn't come up with anything to say. Since I didn't have any siblings, it was hard to relate, but it seemed like she really loved her sister. I could actually relate more to May's sister. Just as her, I too have barely been home due to my work. And just like her, I'd likely be working even if I was home. But as opposed to May's sister, I didn't have anyone who was expecting me back home. I decided against poking any further and instead shifted my focus back to asking people for directions. Without much luck. Oddly enough, it was as if they were all going in the same direction, the town center. Do you think they're going to see that performer? Silence. Maybe she just hadn't heard me. I turned to ask her again, but she was nowhere to be seen. Just as I finished that thought, I felt a presence behind me. I slowly turned around. Ah! Uh-huh. Alright. Is he missing skin? Yikes. What the hell? What do you think? Do I look funny? What? No! Get away from me! I took a few steps back, almost afraid the man would lunge at me. But he didn't. He just stood there. I see. Maybe I didn't do it quite right. And with that, he walked off, disappointed. He took a book out of his pocket and started flipping through it. For some weird reason, he seemed familiar. This town was giving me the creeps. I needed to get out of here as fast as I could. But as I turned around, I saw that most of the people walking by had distorted their faces in one way or another. It was as if a virus had spread while we were looking for help. This was madness. I needed to get out of here, but where to? And where was May? I was getting kind of worried. Ooh! Alright. It's visual novel time. Let's see. Stay on the main street. It should be easier to find May or a police station that way. Go through the back streets and avoid attracting any unwanted attention. Well, staying on the main street does seem like it would be easier to find a police station, but it seems like the streets are going to be full of all these creepy people who I feel like maybe they watched that performer and it's warped their mind or something, and they are disfiguring themselves. I'm not sure. Avoiding attracting unwanted attention seems like a better idea. However, going through back streets seems like a good way to get killed. I do enjoy getting the bad endings of games first, I have to say. The bad endings of visual novels. If this game has bad I bet all the endings are bad. I think I'm gonna go for the back streets. Go through the back streets and avoid attracting any unwanted attention. Staying on the main street was too dangerous. The fewer of them I came in contact with, the better. Good. Good. But the moment I stepped into the dark alleyway, a bad feeling welled up inside of me. Was I really that much safer here than out in the streets? No, probably not. I probably made a very bad decision. I turned around and looked back at the people walking by. Some shot glances my way. Perhaps because I was one of the few people around whose face looked normal, this made me nervous. I turned back towards the alleyway. Whatever was awaiting me here couldn't be worse than being surrounded by all of those madmen out there. My heartbeat accelerated every time I rounded a corner. I soon noticed that the back street layout was quite elaborate. Alright, we're gonna get lost. Good. There were no dead ends, and it seemed to stretch on forever. I should have glimpsed an exit leading to the main street long ago. Was I just walking in circles? Right as I was about to turn another corner... I'm gonna die. Oh! I saw them. I froze in place. The person on the left spoke. It was the voice of a boy. Oh, you're normal. His words caught me off guard. What did he mean by normal? And what was up with those masks? Yeah. I tried to sound confident, but my voice shook slightly. The other child spoke. Her voice sounded like a girl's voice. I'm Amy, and this is my brother Lanny. She gestured to the smaller kid next to her. We're hiding from the other people, those with weird faces. You are hiding from them too, right? My body slowly relaxed. It seemed like they really were just normal kids. Those masks were still freaking me out, though. Yeah, I am. Do you know how we can escape from here? Or maybe find some help? No, unfortunately not. I thought I knew a good way through these back streets, but I think we're lost. Not because of me, though. She wanted to. Amy punched his arm. Ow! Hey! If we had turned right as I said we should have, we wouldn't be lost anymore. That was a dead end, you dimwit! You just didn't see it because your mask is too big. Lanny rubbed his shoulder and started sulking. Why are you wearing those masks in the first place? Some people with those weird faces have been, well, they've been using people with normal faces as material. Material? Material for what? Oh, material for extra body parts? So if you want to have, like, three faces, you have to use other people's faces as extra. Ugh, okay. Lanny flinched as Amy muttered those words. It seemed like they had seen some terrible things. Hiding in these alleyways had been a good idea. Alright, we should probably move on. There has to be a way out of here. I'll stick with you. That way it'll be safer. I couldn't see their faces, but by their body language I could tell that they were relieved. I too was happy that there were other normal people out here. Are you sure they're normal? I mean, I assume they have masks to hide the fact that they're normal, but we don't know for sure. They could be hiding something else. While we were walking, I tried to find out more about the siblings and what they knew about the situation. Our parents hadn't come back since yesterday night. We didn't think much of it, and I assumed that they'd be back late. But when we woke up, they still weren't there. We wanted to ask some neighbors for help, but they weren't home either. I thought we should wait, but I thought that was a dumb idea. If they hadn't come back yet, then something must have happened to them. You want to be a scientist? Oh yeah, your idea turned out so great. And I never said I wanted to be a scientist. I still don't know. Yeah, or artist, whatever. I tried to steer the conversation to stop a fight from breaking out. Those feel like some pretty contrasting job choices. They do, don't they? I guess both help people in their own ways. At least, that's what one neighbor of ours claims whenever she fights with another neighbor. We have two neighbors who are close to our family, and they... I froze. So did the siblings. Someone was there, just around the corner. Is it May? Is it May or is it someone creepy? I say is it May or someone creepy. May could be creepy for all I know. I jerked my head around, trying to find a place to hide. For a second, I considered that they could be someone normal, someone just like us. Someone who was just as freaked out by whatever was going on in the city as we were. But I didn't want to take any unnecessary risks, and I especially didn't want to put these kids in danger. I spotted a big garbage container not too far from us and quickly pushed Amy and Lanny towards it. We made it just in time. Amy held her breath. Lanny was fidgeting slightly. No, he was trembling. I was afraid that he would make too much noise, but he managed to pull himself together. Silence. Was the person just standing there, looking down the alleyway we were in? Or were they already gone and we just hadn't heard them leave? I managed to suppress my curiosity and decided not to peer around the container. Lanny apparently couldn't. I was about to stop him and pull him back, but it was already too late. He had already peeked out of our hiding spot. His body relaxed slightly, and he spoke in a hushed tone. Amy, it's Frederick, our neighbor. Amy perked up. It seemed like they knew this person. As Amy saw my puzzled expression, she started to explain. Don't worry, Frederick is the neighbor we were talking about. He's a bit of a nerd since he's a researcher, but he's pretty cool otherwise. That last remark stung a bit, seeing as I was a researcher myself, but I decided to ignore it. Here, have this just in case. I'll go talk to him. Lanny shoved his mask into my hands and jumped out of our cover. I was about to grab and stop him, but my hands gripped empty air. Amy jumped up as well and ran after him, likely realizing how dangerous his idea was. I hesitated, but just for a second. There was no way I could let those two go out there by themselves. If something went wrong, I had to be there to protect them. I hesitantly put on the mask Lanny had given me and stepped out of our hiding spot. Lanny had since called out to Frederick and was now approaching him. Okay. I froze when I saw him. That was the guy I had met earlier. And his face was still as ravaged as before. How Lanny had recognized him was beyond me. Lanny stopped a few feet from Frederick. Are you all right? Your face. Did they do this? Frederick had a puzzled look on his face at first, but his expression soon softened. Oh, that? How do I look? Terrible. Why can't they leave us normal people alone? Frederick's expression darkened. My feet moved by themselves, and I was quickly approaching Lanny. Lanny was under the misconception that someone else had done this to Frederick. Yeah, he clearly did it to himself. But I knew that he was one of them. I quickly overtook Amy, who had stopped at a safe distance, and stood between Frederick and Lanny. Frederick glanced at me. It seemed like he didn't recognize me because of the mask. I was about to tell him to leave us when suddenly I gasped for air. My stomach. He had kicked me in the stomach. I could hear Amy gasp behind me as my knees gave in. My insides grew hot as I held onto my belly, my view fixed on the grey asphalt below me. Oh! Oh! That's a creepy smile. Then I heard Lanny cry out. I jerked my head up, still unable to get up due to the pain. Frederick had grabbed Lanny and was pulling him back towards the way Frederick had come from. I was hoping to find someone whose face was in an impeccable shape, just as yours. You'll make for some nice material. Hey, let go! Lanny was struggling with all his might, but Frederick was stronger. He picked Lanny up and he threw him against the wall. Lanny's head collided with the hard surface and his body went limp. Before I was able to heave myself up, Amy had apparently freed herself from her frozen state. She ran past me and towards Frederick. Stop! Let him go! She must have known that winning against an adult was impossible for her. But her judgment was clouded by her desire to save her brother. All because I had been too careless and had let Frederick hit me. But before Amy could throw herself onto Frederick, he turned around and hit her with his backhand. She staggered to the side, her mask flying off her face. Her expression was twisted in pain. Frederick froze as he saw what was under the mask. A normal face. Oh wow, 2 potential donors! A thick grin formed on his dismembered face. My feet finally stopped wobbling and I managed to stand up. I had to help Amy, otherwise Frederick would take her too. I charged forward as Frederick started approaching her and was about to tackle him when, once again, a hot feeling spread throughout my stomach. The difference was that he hadn't kicked me this time. I stumbled backwards and looked down. Blood. My feet gave in once again. Frederick was holding a knife. He had stabbed me. Well, I made a good decision coming back here. Good job, Say. Nicely done. Right, where was I? He fixed his eyes at Amy, who was staring back at him, frozen in fear. Carrying two might be difficult, but I don't want to leave you here like this either. Aha, I got it! He started rummaging through his pockets. Shortly after, he pulled out something small. I glanced at Amy. She had tears in her eyes. My brain was screaming that I had to help her, but my body wouldn't move. I had lost too much blood. Having a funny face and good at all, but I wanted to approach this from a scientific perspective. There had to be a way to capitalize on this new trend. Maybe I could finally win a prize or two. Coincidentally, I found some odd mushrooms not too long ago. After some experiments, I discovered that they had the potential to influence someone's facial arrangement. So I went ahead and made this. He held up something that looked like a small pill. Amy started to crawl backwards, but her back soon hit a wall. Admittedly, I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. That's where you come in. He was now standing right in front of Amy and bent down. You should thank me. Many people will attain face comedy enlightenment, as I'll call it. Maybe I'll be able to sell as many books as the most hilarious one. He jerked forward and grabbed Amy's face, trying to force the pill into her mouth. I tried crawling towards them, but almost all my strength had left me. Amy was trying her best to keep Frederick off, but he was too strong. Her muffled screams were heart-wrenching. And then she gulped. Frederick stepped back, satisfied. Alright, let's see. It should start any second now. I closed my eyes. I could tell that Amy was flailing in pain. She tried to scream, but all that came out was a deep gurgle. After a few more painful seconds, it stopped. All went quiet. Well, the face looks alright, but it seems I have to tweak it some more before it's distribution ready. I heard footsteps. Frederick had picked Lanny back up and was now leaving the alleyway. My eyes were still firmly closed. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see what had happened to Amy. But I had to know if she was really dead or if she could still be saved. I slowly opened my eyes. Yikes. That is super cool. And super gross, but super cool. Why did this have to happen to them? Why hadn't I been able to help them? Amy. She didn't respond. I looked down the alleyway. There was no trace of Lanny or Frederick. They were gone. And soon I would die too. I was steadily losing blood, and there was no way anyone would find me and help me. I closed my eyes. As my consciousness faded, I felt a small sting in my back as if something had stabbed me. It was barely noticeable, and then everything went dark. I died. Good, good. I made a good decision. I died. Alright then. That was really cool, actually. I mean, I assume that was the worst of the two endings. I mean, there could be more than two endings. I don't know. I'm just guessing. If there are two endings to that particular story, because my guess is that each of the three doors has a different story behind it. So I assume that the second one, because nothing happened with May. May appeared and then just disappeared. So I guess I made the wrong decision. Unless May popped up in all the stories. So what I suggest we do is go back through, just skip all the story up to the point where we have a choice to make, and then continue from there. Guide to Funny Faces indeed. Okay, so the skip was this. Alright, skip. Skip. We'll skip. Hey, May. Okay, so this is where we got to. We chose to go into the back streets, and we met a couple of kids, and then one kid got stolen, one kid got turned into some kind of fungal plant thing, and we died. So this time we'll stay on the main street. It should be easier to find mayor or police station that way. I felt uneasy around these people, but I didn't want to negatively impact my chances of finding help. Quickly, I hurried off while trying to ignore everyone's gaze. But wherever I went, these people were everywhere. On top of that, the town seemed to have no end. I couldn't find a road out, no matter how long I searched. Just as I was wondering about what to do, I recognized someone standing near a building. Is it May? Yeah. There you are. You had me worried. Oh, I'm sorry. I had something to take care of. Oh, that's not sus at all. Yeah, exactly. That sounded oddly vague. But I didn't want to be rude, so I dropped it. She did give me a sandwich after all. Did you have any luck finding your way back home? No, still nothing. And on top of that, there are all these weird people walking around. Actually, I know someone who may be able to help. You do? Yes, they don't live far from here. How about I introduce you? Oh, yeah, sure. Wasn't she new in this town? Maybe she met them while we were separated? I considered questioning her, but this was the only lead I had found so far, and I didn't want to lose this chance. We arrived in an old, tall building. I watched May from the corner of my eye. Something seemed different about her, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Perhaps it was just my imagination. They live on the highest floor. This building is pretty old, and not many people live here anymore, so it's a bit run down. I'd appreciate it if you went first. Oh, that's a good idea. I want to go first. I don't want to go first. Creepy random houses with creepy people everywhere. I didn't protest and led us into the structure. The building was quite desolate, just as she had said. This place made me feel uneasy. I didn't want to stay here any longer than I had to. Not only was I afraid that everything would come down on our heads any minute, I could only imagine what could lurk in these abandoned halls. I didn't blame her for wanting me to go first. After climbing a set of stairs, May spoke up again. It should be the door at the end of this hall. I saw the door she was referring to. It was probably the only door in the entire building that wasn't damaged. The clean coat of paint was an eerie contrast in this ravaged environment. And the one living there can help me? No reply. I turned around and saw nothing. Okay, May's gone again. Good. May was gone. Again. She could have at least said goodbye. I walked up to the door to knock, but it was already open. Maybe I had the wrong door after all. Yet May had seemed certain. What should I do? Save my game. That's what I should do. Save it every possible choice. um, should we be ballsy and just enter the apartment? I feel like enter the apartment is gonna get us killed. But getting killed is fun. Let's enter the apartment. Perhaps they forgot to lock the door. Or Meg had already notified them that we were coming and they left it open for us. I gave the door a soft push. Hello? No reply. It was a very small apartment. The door opened to the living room, which seemed to double as the bedroom. A single corridor led to 2 more rooms, likely the bathroom and the kitchen. Just like the door itself, everything looked way too clean and tidy compared to the hallway outside. I stepped in and peered through a window, hoping to spot this person that I was supposed to meet. Everything looked normal from up here, but I knew that wasn't the case. Something was wrong with this town, and I was trapped here. Would I ever be able to return home? I had people who relied on me. Would my team at the lab manage without me? I tore myself away from the window. This wasn't the time to think about that. I should be concentrating on finding a way out. Oh, okay, another one. Um. Stay here and wait, take a look around the apartment. I feel like spying around someone's apartment is a really bad idea. So let's stay here and wait. I shouldn't be too nosy. After all, I was just a guest. So I waited. Suddenly, I heard a sound outside the apartment. I'm going to die. Wait, why are we hiding? I mean, okay, it's a horror game, but you know. I hastily slipped inside a closet and carefully pulled it shut. I wasn't sure why I was hiding, but I had an awful feeling in my guts. Finding a stranger standing in your apartment probably wouldn't be something to take in stride. Then again, finding one in your closet would be even worse. I watched through slits in the door as they entered the apartment. They stopped in the entryway and took a look around the room. Was this the tenant? Shadows were obscuring part of their body. I strained my eyes trying to see what they looked like. But what I saw made me cover my mouth to suppress a gasp. Yikes! Oh, she's got multiple heads on her. She's got like this one head at the top, and then like on the side there's another head, and this looks like another eyeball here. The woman's face was ravaged. Fleshy chunks clung to her forehead. Were those face parts? Forgot to close the door again. She spoke to herself and moved as if nothing was wrong. But her face, it was horrendous. She walked up to the mirror. This looks so much better, just like in the book. I should check the text again. I may have missed something. She picked up the book that was lying on the desk and flipped it open. I see. I need more. Yes, I definitely need more. She looked back to the mirror and caressed her disfigured face. She backed towards the exit and left the apartment. Her eyes never left the mirror. I remained frozen in the closet for a few more minutes. My heart slowly calmed itself. Once I was sure that she was really gone, I stepped out. I needed to get myself as far away from this building and this town as fast as I possibly could. As I was about to leave the apartment, a sudden wave of fatigue came over me. It was as if I had stepped into a veil. Was it that sandwich? Did May give us a drugged up sandwich? The air had gotten heavier, and my breathing became more ragged. I clutched my chest as I tried to figure out what was going on. A throbbing pain pulsed through my arm. It was as if something had stabbed me. I tried to turn around, but I had already become too weak. My feet gave in, and my vision darkened. I could feel a presence near me. The woman? May? Before I could find out, my consciousness faded. We dead again? Yep, we're dead again. We died again. Alright, so we need to go back in. We need to get back to the apartment and then make different choices. Okay, so let's skip forward. Go to the apartment. I think I'll enter the apartment, but I'll choose the so we want to stay on the main street. Enter the apartment. And this time we're going to take a look around the apartment. Which seems like a horrible idea now we know who actually owns the apartment. But let's try it. Oh, we can check lots of things. Let's just check the pictures first. I took a look at the pictures hanging on the walls. Most of them were paintings that depicted nature. Only few of them were photographs. The one with a note scribbled onto it caught my eye. Oh, it depicted a man and a woman having a picnic. The note said Sabrina and Frederick, BFF. So Frederick being the guy who killed us before. Sabrina, I assume, being the woman who just came in. Oh, does that mean the kids live in this building too? Because they said neighbors. And I think Frederick was their neighbor. It seemed like one of them was living here. Or maybe both. At the very least, I would now be able to recognize the tenant once I see them. Okay, check the desk. The surface of the desk was crammed with beauty products. A single mirror was standing amongst them. A small book was buried beneath the clutter. I think the book is probably going to tell us that we should run. I moved the small bottles aside and picked up the book underneath. The cover depicted a mask with distorted facial expression. The title read, The Art of Humor. I flipped through it. It was apparently a guide by the most hilarious one that explained how to make funny faces. But the pictures in the book were more disturbing than humorous. One description of a technique caught my eye. Finally, we arrive at addition. Like removal, this is a very risky technique reserved only for the cream of the crop. It may sound simple, though. All you have to do is add and never stop. Search for features that are a disgrace to facial humor, then take for yourself and pair them off. The person might even thank you for all your help with removal. Yeah. So they take off facial features and attach them, sew them on or something. I glanced at the pictures beside the text and shook my head in disgust. I started skimming through it quickly, and sure enough, it was full of similar depictions. On the very last page, I came to a sudden stop. There was a key taped to it. Did the key come with the book? Or did the owner of the book hide it in here? Oh well, it didn't matter to me anyway, since I didn't know what the door or the key was for. I placed the book back the way it was before. Can I check the mirror too? My own reflection peered back at me. I looked like I had aged a decade. My lack of sleep really had done a number on me. Not to mention all these strange occurrences today. If I ever get out of all this, I'll need a long vacation, I thought. As I looked in the mirror, a newspaper page hanging on the wall behind me caught my eye. I approached it and skimmed it in case it had any hints on what was going on in this town. But I was unfortunately wrong. Oh, I can pronounce this word. This issue of Okay. News, as the paper was called, was several years old. The subheading read, A rising new artist has wowed the judges at the art competition. We can't wait to see her next work. She has a bright future ahead of her, one of the judges said. This article didn't seem to be important to my current situation. and I couldn't see anyone newspaper snippings around. Disappointed, I averted my gaze and took another look around the room. Suddenly I heard a sound outside the apartment. I hastily slipped inside a closet and pulled it shut. I wasn't sure why I was hiding, but I had an awful feeling in my guts. Okay, we've read this bit, yeah. Are we just gonna die again? I think we are just gonna die again. Yep, we died again. There was one more thing we could look at on the table, right? I mean, I feel like going into the apartment just gets us killed. But I want to see the last thing that we could look at. Or did I look at the last thing we could look at? Well, let's find out. So we stay on the main street. We enter the apartment. We take a look around. Oh, yeah, see, check the other rooms. We didn't check the other rooms. I walked down the corridor and towards the two other rooms. As I suspected, it was just the bathroom and the kitchen. Something about the bathroom caught my eye. It was filled with countless beauty products. Scarily many beauty products. The shelves were overflowing. I could barely see the counter. Even the floor was littered with them. Kinda sounds like my house. Shaking my head, I went back into the living room. Then we wanna, I guess, check the desk. Check the book. Check the pictures. And then in she comes, and then we die. So my guess would be that we have to look around the apartment building, hopefully find a door that's locked that we need the key for, and then the key in the back of the book will help us. Fingers crossed, anyway. Stay on the main street. Because this time we do not want to enter the apartment. We want to take a look around the building. I shouldn't barge into a stranger's home like this. The door being open didn't mean that I could just enter. My eyes wandered around the hallway, scanning it for anything notable. Maybe I could wait for them outside. I had noticed that the air in here felt oddly heavy. I made my way back down the hallway when I heard some noise from the ground floor downstairs. Was it another tenant? Maybe they could help me. Ooh, apologies. Let's have a sip of coffee. I wasn't very hopeful considering how badly it's been going so far, but it was worth a shot. Slowly, I creeped down the steps. Why is my creeping down the steps making squelchy noises? Oh, I could make out a rhythmic squishy sound that was getting louder and louder. An uneasy feeling was starting to set in my stomach. As I reached the bottom of the stairs, I saw a red trail on the ground. Blood. It must be blood. It led into an apartment. Its door was wide open. My feet froze. The sound was getting louder, more frantic. I needed to get out of this building. Something horrible was happening in there. But to get to the exit, I had to pass by that door, past the blood trail. I considered going back up, but then I would be stuck at a dead end. My feet slowly started to move down the last couple of steps. Whoever or whatever was in that room couldn't notice me. Who knew what would happen to me if they did? The squishing became louder and louder the closer I got. Before long, I was standing right by the open door. Oh no! The nameplate next to it read Frederick Steiner! Yeah, this is where they all live. Oh, what if he caught the kid? What if it's the kid? I considered quickly running past, but my curiosity overwhelmed me. I peeked in. The room was almost pitch black. The sole window barely let any light through. I saw rhythmic movement in the middle of the room. Someone was hunched over something. As the person lifted their hand once again, I saw a metallic glint in the light. They were holding a knife. They were stabbing someone over and over again. The techniques in the book are too simple. I don't have time for these childish games if I want to be as funny as the most hilarious one. Techie from the face? Nonsense. Why just the face? There's so much missed potential. This is exactly what my studies have been leading up to. She just doesn't get it, but I do. I'll show her what it means to be funny. They were whispering to themselves in a gurgling voice. I had no idea what they were talking about. They must have gone mad. I stepped away, ready to leave this building for good. But my foot slipped on the wet blood. I managed to catch myself and avoid falling, but I couldn't avoid making a sound. The movement inside the room suddenly stopped. Silence. Then, their head slowly turned my way. Yikes! That is really gross. Who's there? The person frantically shook their grotesque head around. It seemed like they couldn't see me past all of their face modifications. The various body parts fused with their skin wiggled like worms crawling out of their head. Is that you, Sabrina? Have you come to your senses? Have you finally realized that this is the only way to make an actually funny face? Look at me. Soon I will be the most hilarious one. And then, his breathing was getting even heavier than before. They went back to dismantling the body in front of them. I was safe. They really couldn't see me. I was safe. Trying not to make a sound, I stepped over the bloody trail and very cautiously made my way towards the exit. I definitely didn't want to get caught. Soon I was in front of the exit door. I could finally get out. But just as I was about to grab the handle, a sudden wave of fatigue came over me. I feel like I've selected all the options. If I die here, I'm not sure how to progress. Or maybe I'm not supposed to progress. It was as if I'd stepped into a veil. The air had gotten heavier and my breathing became more ragged. I clutched my chest as I tried to figure out what was going on. A throbbing pain pulsed through my arm. It was as if something had stabbed me. I tried to turn around, but I had already become too weak. My feet gave in, and my vision darkened. Oh, I could feel a presence near me. The person from the apartment. Before I could find out, my consciousness faded. Okay. What am I missing? I explored the alleyway, and that just led to death. I explored the main street, which led to finding May, which led to finding the apartment. I went in the apartment and looked at everything. I explored around the apartment. I feel like I did everything. Like, I honestly feel like it's that freaking sandwich. I feel like not taking the sandwich is the only option, but we have to take the sandwich. I don't think the game gives us the option not to. Thinking. The only thing I can think of is in the apartment there are multiple things you can look at, right? So I'm wondering if it has to be the right... Like, looking in the other rooms... But we looked in the other rooms, and it didn't help. We looked in the book, and there was a key that we didn't know where it went. Looked at a magazine, because I thought the key might be for a room in the house, but... Unless something has opened up since... Oops. Unless something has opened up since I... Nah. Thing popped off my computer. Unless something has opened up since I... unlocked all the other routes. I can't think of anything else we can do. Let's see if something opened up. It could be that that's it. Could be that those are all of our options, and then the other two stories allow us to piece the puzzle together to make one complete picture. Because it said you can do them in any order, and so I assume that means each story is going to have us waking up. So it could be that this is all we... I'm gonna try going through the back streets just to see if anything opens up, if any choices open up. But I'm pretty sure that Frederick did find the kids. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure that Frederick did find the kids, and that's what he was slicing up. The only thing I can think of is in the apartment. If there is a way to progress. Okay, so now we want to stay on the main street. Taking a look around the building is immediate death. So we want to enter the apartment. Staying here and wait is immediate death, so we want to take a look around the apartment. I think the... The pictures are helpful. I think. See, we did this before. Oh, 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 it's different. There was no time to place the book back onto the bottles. I stuffed it into my pocket. So I guess that means you have to do the book last. I hastily slipped inside a closet and carefully pulled it shut. I wasn't sure why I was hiding, but I had an awful feeling in my guts. Yeah, okay. Out comes a sexy lady. The woman's face was ravaged. Yes, yes. Oh no. I could feel the weight of the book in my pocket. I was sure I put it here. She rummaged her desk. What? What? Where is it? I know it was here. It was here. She cast the bottles from the desk to the ground. They shattered, spilling their sickly sweet-smelling contents across the carpet. The panic drained from her face. It's okay. It's okay. I just need to buy a new one. It's completely fine. I'll just ask the most hilarious one if he has one left over. He has to. She scurried out of the apartment, leaving the door wide open. I remained frozen in the closet for a few more minutes. My heart slowly calmed itself. Once I was sure that she was really gone, I stepped out. I needed to get myself as far away from this building and this town as fast as I possibly could. And then he gets fatigued, so the same thing's gonna happen. Oh! You found key too! So I did something right. Is that all I need to do? Is that all I need to do to accomplish the second door? Is to find the key? There is one more thing I can think of doing, and that's making the last choice in the apartment be explore the other rooms, so that you're in another room when the tenant comes in. That's the only thing I can think of. But I assume we need to find a key in each of the rooms, and that will unlock a fourth ending, perhaps? May has got to pop up in all of the stories. So we enter the apartment. We take a look around. Let's check the picture. Check the desk. Check the book. Check the other rooms. And then we end up here, and then the same, and then we... Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that actually is it for this door. Because it says I found key 2. Unless it unlocks a different route. And I'm going to try going down the back alley again and see if there's a different option available. Because I'm convinced it's that freaking sandwich. But... So, back streets. The kids. I feel like I did this in a pretty good order, though, accidentally. Yeah. Because I found out about the kids and where they lived and everything in Frederick before meeting Sabrina. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just have to get the key. I'm just gonna do this again and get the key. I think I have the key. I think it's saved that I have the key. But I want to make sure that I end with the key. So enter the apartment. Unless taking... Should we try taking another look around the building? Yeah. No. 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 Dead. Okay, last one. Last try, I promise. I am intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued by this. I really like the art style. And so far the story is really cool. And I like the idea of what I assume is going to be 3 separate... Well, 3 linking stories. You don't eat sandwich! You know, if May ends up being, like, a good person, I will feel bad. So, enter the apartment. Take a look. Check the pictures. Check the desk. Check the mirror. Check the desk. Check the book. So then we hastily have the book in our pocket. And we have key 2. Okay. My guess is that that's all there is to door 2. And then we have to do door 1 and door 3 to unlock more keys and find more fragments of the story. That is my guess. But I think one door is a good achievement. Hopefully I didn't miss anything from that door. I hope not. I will definitely complete this. I think it's a huge amount of fun for me. Because I like this kind of story. And it's beautifully done. I assume it's a very small team, or even a one-man job. I'm not sure. I'll actually look this up afterwards, so that next time I can make a comment about it. But very nicely done. Beautiful artwork. Nice. So yes, next stream, which will probably be tomorrow, I will do door 1 or door 3. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. See how I'm feeling tomorrow. But yeah, when I get back from work tomorrow, we will try door 1 or door 3. Ooh. See what horrors lie beyond the other doors. But for now, thank you for joining me. If you had a good time, please free to like the stream. It's just the same as liking a normal YouTube video. It really helps me out. Subscribe. I would be utterly thrilled if you subscribed. I have recently moved over from Twitch, and it is a slow climb back to having viewers here. But I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm really grateful that I was able to try out this game, and I will definitely finish it. So yes, also please go to Steam, get this game if you think it looks good. Even if you watch my whole stream, you see the whole thing, still go and get it and support the developer, because I would love to see more games like this. Aren't enough games like this. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!